who are not able to join today. Yeah. So welcome everyone, and this thought of kind of having a study circle came to my mind because we all are in our own capacities, connected with the mother or Sri Aurobindo, and we
Yeah,
do read once in a while. We go through texts, we go through quotes and readings or lines, and if
yeah,
they don't become our life, then I think we are not doing justice to those words. So
yeah,
when we discuss it out with each other and maybe share what I resonated with in a particular line, and maybe that helps the other, and maybe what if I share a particular line, you have a thought on it, that how it resonated with your practical life. So
yeah,
like we can continue to make it our living, what the words that we read, and also make it kind of kind of expand each
mm.
other, expanding our horizons, learning from each other. So this was the thought, and I was very happy to hear when people responded that yes, we'd like to initiate. So gratitude for that, and let us begin. So I have a few paragraphs with me which I would like to share, but before that,
Yeah.
like all of you, if any one of you wants to take the lead, please go ahead and share any paragraph, any quote that you would like to share, how it became your life, how you want to make it your life. Yeah.
Yeah. I will just start actually. Yeah.
Please.
For me, when I was first introduced to mother through my cousin, actually, immediately after that, I purchased a small booklet. It's by Dr. Nadkarni. Yeah, because he's the one, no, who took Savitri to all common people. Yes. There I read the line, fate shall be changed by an unchanging will. No? And that strike me a lot because throughout all the scriptures said your fate can't be changed. No, you have to go through the fate. Somehow it will act in your life. Somehow you can't avoid it. Maybe you will gain some strength through prayers and all. But this, I think, this actually made me to think, what is this? At that time, I didn't know about Savitri and all. It is during 97, 98. So this made me to buy Savitri, and daily I used to read only that page, not other pages. I never touched for years actually. I used to memorize and I used to repeat always whenever I face any problem, any crisis. I used to repeat these lines always. Fate shall be changed by an unchanging will. So for me, it definitely fate also changed. In my parents' family, a big crisis happened. It was a very big crisis, but they didn't know about mother. But I used to recite this with these lines and pray. Everyone told go to some astrology and go to some Durga follower, and he will tell the future and everything. But somehow I stick on with these lines actually. Fate shall be changed. So everything turned nicely actually in a positive manner in my parents' family. It is. They didn't know, of course, about mother and Shirbido. But this gave me a boost to go further. Then slowly I realized about mother and master. So it's going on till now. This is my first thing. This fate shall be changed by an unchanging will.
How beautiful. So may I
Thank
ask Chitra ji, what exactly resonated? Because I can empathize completely with you. Even happens with me that many a times one line and you are just stuck with that one line, and you don't
Yeah,
know what exactly is there, but it kind of attracts you like a magnet,
yeah,
towards itself.
yeah.
And it's
Mm,
amazing that you were able to listen to that inner calling that yes, I have to be with these lines, more and
yeah.
more. I feel something is there in these lines. So
Mm,
how do you kind of use these lines in the daily life now? So this was one incident now that you were referring, that what happened with your parents. How does
Yeah.
this happen? How does it kind of make it alive for you in the daily, day-to-day common life, the moment-to-moment life?
Yeah.
That fate shall be changed by this unseen will. If you could just share something on that.
Yeah. Actually, again, I can say about another crisis, another crisis like that, actually, because my life is a roller coaster. It's not a smooth one, definitely. So I can say this line brought me to whole of Savitri, actually. Only through this line I gained interest, I can say. Then, so far I finished 3 or 4 times the whole of Savitri. Savitri is everything for me now, actually. So many attacks will come. I mean, but every day, Savitri. Each and every minute, yeah. Only because of this line only, I can resonate with Savitri. And day-to-day life means I mean, particularly I can't explain in day-to-day life, but it is a part of my life now, I can say, yeah.
Thank you.
For
Yeah.
everything, I will take Savitri only. Now, after some years, no, I used to get answers also from
Yeah.
Savitri.
Mm.
Exact lines I will get answered. Then I will read the whole canto. That will make me to read the whole canto actually after reading that line. Like that, it goes. The journey goes till now actually.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
I think mother also shared somewhere now, because if you are looking for any answer, any problem in human life, you just open any random page of Savitri and you will find the answer. Yeah.
yeah. Even recently also that prayers and meditations also I couldn't join, no, that anger, how to control that our emotions and all, it is on the surface. That line, that is indispensable, no, that line is there, no, that prayers
Mm.
and so that strike me for the first time after long years. I am reading that prayers and meditations, but for the first time I noticed that line, it is indispensable,
Mm.
really. So far I thought we should not get angry, we should not get, I mean, confusion and fear, it's all against our path. I will
Mm.
feel somewhat guilty, but when I read that, after you send that prayers, and only that I saw that line, that is indispensable.
Mm. Yes, yes, yes. Do you remember the exact line?
Also an answer, total answer for me that day. Your prayers, you
Yeah.
explained the prayers and
Yes,
meditations.
yes, yes. What was the line, Chitraji? I'm forgetting the indispensable line. Do you remember?
Yeah, I'll bring this book actually.
Okay,
I'll
no, it's okay. Then I can also check later. Yeah, it's okay.
yeah, but it was I mean, it said no, all the surface emotions and fear and anger, everything is indispensable for it will
Ah,
rise like that. Yeah.
okay, okay, yeah.
Mm,
Remember. Yeah,
mm.
yeah. Great.
You can't avoid that. It will
We can't
rise
avoid
like
it.
yeah.
Yes, yes. And it's
After long years, no,
mm,
25, 30 years, but now only it strike me that line indispensable.
yeah. So Mohitji, I would like to share here what Chitraji is sharing. It's really beautiful. So there, mother shares that how the surface emotions like anger, frustration, doubt, all these so-called negative emotions, they are like as if they are floating on the surface of the of an ocean. And mother says that even them being there, I can access deep in the depths. I can access that stillness and calm and look at those surface emotions, that they are there for me to transform them. They are there for us to transmute them, for them to change. And this also reminds me of how a lotus stands so beautifully in the mud. It this image comes to me again and again, because we are in the mud. If we look at our daily life, It is full of all negativity, so much of darkness, so much of confusion. No matter how many hours of meditation I may spend, it doesn't matter. So then one wonders what is going wrong. And then one realizes that these are to be there, as Chitraji was sharing, they are indispensable, because that is the task given to the human soul, to plunge into this darkness and with the light, transmute everything towards the divine light or the divine consciousness. So if they are not there, then there is hardly any challenge, what would we do in daily life? Yeah.
It's like
You're muted. Yeah.
it's like the raw material.
It's
From
the raw material. Exactly. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So what thought comes to, like, we were doing a class with a senior teacher, yoga class. So I learn and teach yoga. So she was saying that the diaphragm is like a barrier, or like a, so the lower chakras, if we can talk about chakras, or the lower emotions, we can say, they are present in the lower area of the body, and the diaphragm is like a bridge which connects the prakriti, which is the lower emotions, to the higher emotions of the heart and the other centers. And the
Mm.
lower emotions must not serve themselves, but must serve the higher centers.
Mm.
But the energy is generated in the lower centers. If they were not there, they cannot get the nourishment from
Mm.
the lower centers. So one has to be able to transmute
Mm.
and and charge these, and so they can.
True.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So, would you like to share anything, Mohitji?
Actually, I have not read
Okay.
Aurobindo. Really, I have not read him much. But I thought through this study circle, maybe I can start.
Sure. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Ram Kumarji, in that case, would you like to share anything that you read and would like to share the practical relevance of that paragraph or those lines?
Yes, I have, but actually, my laptop got stuck. So, in case you have something, you can continue, and then after that, I will share.
Yeah, in that case, I can just
Yeah.
share what I have to read.
Mm, mm.
So there is this small book called Sunlit Path. Maybe you know about this. It's just a compilation of some words from the mother, and I like it because it's very handy book. Like a pocket book, and very little paragraphs. And any day, I just pick this book up from my bedside, and I would read like 5 lines, 4 lines max, and it'll just be enough. So I like the precise and concise, sharp, paragraphs here. So one thing which really benefited me and still benefits a lot is this, the link between unhappiness and insincerity. So mother shares, you feel uneasy, very miserable, dejected, a bit unhappy. So you say things are not quite pleasant today. This happens with us almost, every other day. For some reason or the other, we are feeling, slight unhappy, miserable. Why? And you wonder that things were okay, yesterday. They were feeling fine. I was feeling fine. I was not this unhappy yesterday. Why? Because yesterday you were in a perfect state of surrender, more or less perfect. And today you aren't anymore. So, what was so beautiful yesterday is no longer beautiful today. And I also realize, many a times we are open to nature, for example, looking at a sunset or looking at the flowers in the garden, and just being with them is enough. You feel so grateful. And at times, the mind, the thoughts, and emotions are so overwhelming that all that beauty, as if it does not exist, you feel just drained out all the time. So mother shares a very beautiful catch here, that yeah. So you keep on thinking in yourself, things are not beautiful. The world is a nasty place. People are not pleasant, and you crib about food is not good. Yesterday it was excellent, and something is wrong. So mother shares, the moment you feel unhappy, you may write beneath, I am not sincere. These two sentences go together. I feel unhappy. I am not sincere. So now one has to fish it out. What is the cause of insincerity? And then mother shares, then one begins to take a look, and then it's easy to find out. So for me, how it helps is that the moment I feel uneasy or unhappy about a certain day or a situation, I see that I have immediately I can fish out that I have started to expect something out of that person or a situation. So if I am living in my divine contentment, in the sense I am contented within myself, then this unhappiness does not arise those days. The moment unhappiness arises, I can see कि कहीं ना कहीं से कुछ उम्मीद लग गई थी. I became hopeful of somebody somewhere. Either it can be maybe these many people may turn up in the session and only two turn up. It can be any stupid thing. I have attached myself to something outside, and that becomes the reason of me being unhappy. And if I catch my insincerity there, then I see that I can just come back to the mother and I say, Mother, you are there with me. I want nothing else. And then the happiness and the ease and the contentment also kind of it comes back. You become a nobody again. So it's like, we have to continue, keep practicing at it, because we keep on taking back ourselves from the mother. We give ourselves to the mother, but then we take ourselves back, and then we end up feeling unhappy. Then we are wondering what happened, what does it happen? Yeah. So this really helps me whenever I feel this uneasiness and kind of starting to attach myself to outer situations in order to feel contented. And mother shares here that the only support you must seek is from the divine, otherwise you will fall on your nose, and sometimes it hurts very badly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, Mohitji.
I'm see, I was listening to someone who also said that desire itself, we can sometimes take desire in a very negative way, but desire itself can be, I mean, without desires we don't even exist,
True.
right? So is it so necessary to look at desire in a very negative way? I understand we get attached to it.
Yeah.
My question, is it necessary to, can we have a more friendly relationship with desire,
Yeah.
rather than something I have to always?
Yeah, I think it's not in a negative connotation at all. And even as Mother also shares so many places, the Asuras came first. For example, desire, all the negative, so called negative emotions, they came first because it is very necessary. If I don't have the desire, I will not move from my inertia. If I have a desire or a craving to eat something, or maybe a desire to meet a friend, I move from my inertia. Even
Correct.
a thing like an ambition, which may be taken in a negative connotation that this person is very ambitious. Ambition makes us move from that inherent inertia. So you are right, because desire, it's not negative. The only thing is, at this moment, I am prioritizing my inner peace. And I see that if I excessively attach myself outside, I lose my inner peace, I lose the balance, I lose the kind of a clarity in life. Do I want it in this moment? If I don't, then I again come back to myself. And if I want to, for example, we all have done that actually. If I want to flow in with the desire, we know the taste of it, we do that even now. So it is to be experienced. But experience, I would say, each experience, if it doesn't make us grow, then I don't know then what for experiences are in our life.
Correct. Yeah. You can't avoid the experiences. No, you have to go through that. Yeah.
So how do I feel? For example, I can ask myself, how do I feel when I am in the grip of the desire? I have personally been very, very badly in a obsessive kind of a relationship. And I knew that I would not want to be there again, although it gave me a lot to learn. That was the biggest learning in my life.
Correct. Correct.
Biggest learning came out of my biggest darkness. So somehow the life experiences work in a way that even darkness actually gives the better clarity. So I'm not afraid of falling into that trap again. But if I ask myself right now, do I want to be in that place again? I would say no. I would like to be, here, centered. Although one never know, tomorrow I have a situation where I'm flown away, swept away by the desire. And again, I'm ready for one more challenge.
But one question, Monica, actually surrender, you told about that surrender, no? If it is not like, I mean, yesterday, I got to unmute. Yeah.
Yeah.
But our surrender should, I mean, more and more become very, I mean, solid, no?
Yeah.
Day by day, day by day.
Yeah.
We can't, I mean, slip away from that surrender.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And we do see that we slip away so many times.
Yeah, so many times. That is what. Yeah.
Actually, I remember, I think I had written a blog also shared with you, all of you, that mother shares that surrender is self-giving. It's not asking. And I
Yes.
realized it practically for myself that one day I was in a lot of confusion and I was kind of wriggling around in my bed, not able to sleep properly. And I was kind of asking, mother, please give me clarity, please give me clarity. And I suddenly realized, Monica, how long would you keep on asking? And immediately I just said, mother, I give myself to you. You do whatever you want to do with this person called Monica. And again, as I was sharing, I keep on taking back myself from the mother. But then again, one has to give shamelessly oneself back in all our ugliness, in all our darkness. Yeah. So Ram Kumarji, would you like to share now? Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, there was some problem with it. Yeah, so first I will introduce myself. So this is Ram Kumar, and so only last maybe 3-4 months I started exploring Sri Aurobindo and Mother's teachings. So what I would say is I'm putting this foundation because my quotes will be mainly from my experience. So that's why I'm sharing what kind of quotes you can expect from me. So maybe say 3-4 years back, I was not having so much of issues in my life. So I was living a normal life, easy go, all these things like that. And last 3-4 years, I had a lot of issues. So before last 3-4 years, there is seeking in me to learn from different masters. I was going through different teachings, and I just know that there are the two persons like Sri Aurobindo and Mother. I do not know much about that. Even though I have visited ashram once and I know about Auroville, I have seen some books. I have even bought some books, but I have never read. But somehow last 3-4 months I started exploring this, and this is helping me a lot actually. So my course will be generally based on this experience. So now I started answering my seeking. At the same time there are a lot of difficulties, challenges every day, from the vital, from the emotions. So whichever quote is very helpful for me, that catches me. So actually I made a PowerPoint presentation because I made it so that every day I will keep one slide as my laptop background. But I never knew that it will be useful for this session. So I will share it. And I am very new to Skype also, so please let me know if it is visible. Is it visible now? Okay. Okay, but it is not visible to me.
I can see it.
Okay. Now you can see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can also see.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So, and one question is, this circle is mainly for the mother's words alone, or for both Sri Aurobindo?
So both mother
Okay,
and Sri
okay,
Aurobindo, and maybe in in coming times we can add on whoever resonates together as
okay,
well.
okay.
Other
Fine,
teachers.
fine.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So since this is more for my personal use, I don't even remember whether it is from Sri Aurobindo or mother, but anyway, the content is important. So all the established forces of the ordinary ignorant world consciousness are opposed to it and deny it and try to prevent it. And the sadhak will find his own mind, life, and body full of the most obstinate impediments to this realization. If you accept the ideal wholeheartedly, face all the difficulties, leave the past and its ties behind you, and are ready to give up everything and risk everything for this divine possibility, then only can you hope to discover by experience the truth behind it. This really suits my condition. There is some seeking, and only now it is trying to come out, and like I'm trying to water it, and but all the other existing difficulties, my past, my habits, how my thoughts are used to be earlier. So this is like a support, like answering a sadhak. So I cannot call myself sadhak. I'm trying to be. So these words are like written to me, and maybe two more I'll share.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I enter this path of sadhana, to realize the divine or the truth, there are always doubts whether it is possible, because this seems to be highly challenging. Whether really I can come out of all these difficulties. So this is one of that which helps me. So, cast away from you these moments of doubt, depression, and rest, which are no part of your true and higher nature. Because we assume that whatever we have today are our nature, but it is told here that which are no part of your true and higher nature. Reject these suggestions of inability, unfitness, and all these irrational movements of an alien force. We are not even aware that these are of something alien to us. We believe that it is us. From us, it is of us. Remain faithful to the light of your soul, even when it is hidden by clouds. I'm just choosing some small quotes so that it will be easy. Okay, recently I read something about body. Uh, yeah. So what mother talks about the body consciousness. No, I realized that when I have to enter this path of sadhana, body is an important divine instrument where I have to work on. So this quote told me the power of the body, or what the body consciousness is actually its potential. So this is something during happened during that Spanish flu or something. So during the flu epidemic, for example, I spent every day in the midst of people who were germ carriers. And one day, I clearly felt that the body had decided not to catch this flu. It asserted its autonomy. You see, it was not a question of the higher will deciding. No, it didn't take place in the highest consciousness. The body itself decided. When you are way above in your consciousness, you see things, you know things. But in actual fact, once you descend again into matter, it is like water running through sand. In this respect, things have changed. The body has a direct power, independent of any outer intervention. Even though it is barely visible, I consider this to be a very important result. This was astonishing to me because you never know that at least I never know that body is having such a capacity. It is telling, no, I am not ready to this. Body as a person is not saying to catch this flow. I cannot. I am having my own autonomy, and mother is able to see that this reaction is not coming because of the higher consciousness, but it is coming from the consciousness which is the body on its own having. And this new vibration in the body has allowed me to understand the mechanism of the transformation. It is not something that comes from a higher will, not a higher consciousness that imposes itself upon the body. It is the body itself awakening in its cells, a freedom of the cells themselves, an absolutely new vibration that sets disorders right, even disorders that existed prior to the supramental manifestation. Now, because why this I felt this quote to be important is, when I take the past, when I see my nature or my habits in the past, we have a different difficulty. You have one set of difficulties which comes related to the body also. We are used to different sitting postures, different eating habits, different sleeping habits, sleeping timings, all these things. So we do not realize that our body is a divine instrument. We have to take care of it. So when I enter this, I started realizing that okay, I have to take care of my body also. That is also important. So this quote actually made me realize how powerful or how much the potential the body is having. Yeah, I think for today I'll stop with these three. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Really grateful to Monica and this space and every others here.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll stop sharing.
Last, I think on Thursday, so we had this Savitri circle and we were reading a few lines there. And your sharing reminded me of when Savitri now has to face the day, the book 1, Canto 2, the issue, where she has to face the day when Satyavan is to die. And she has to, as if she has to erase all the past baggage, all the past karma now needs to be erased. And there it is said that only getting in touch with the unborn element within each one of us, that element which cannot die, is immortal, cannot be touched by any disturbance. Only if we get in touch with that element within us, that has the power to change a new, to recreate a new life and to shed off the burden of all past. And this really gives us so much of power, because in each moment of our day, at every day actually, we can use this very line. We don't have to wait for a impending danger to come, somebody is going to die or something big is to be happening. So I feel that each moment I have a choice whether I want to live from my past, or whether I want to just be deeply in touch with my inner being and live a new me out. And one needs a lot of shamelessness, because as Ramkumar ji was sharing, so much of past is just lurking around on the bag, like a bag full of past. And thank God that we don't remember our past lives. So much of burden even from there, and they come out as a manifestation in our behaviors, in tendencies. We are not even aware where our behaviors are coming from. So there, it is said that the only when one gets in touch, like steps back again and again in day-to-day moments of life, and gets in touch with that inner power within, which each one of us is granted with, only then one can recreate, redefine a new life. So that really gave me a lot of strength, so much of power these few lines have. Only the unborn, unseen, as you were sharing, in the beginning, the fate is changed by the unseen will. Yeah. If only we can access this, make it our life day to day, not feel that we are unworthy of, getting that in our life. Or maybe, sometimes we procrastinate it. We think that we are not ready. It will happen in future, So aaj ka din to ek aur, we spend another futile day in spending in our own unworthiness. So each one of us is worthy, and I feel it's our birthright to access that unborn element within each moment. Just wanted to share, your sharing reminded me of those lines. So let's take a little something more. Yeah, this is really nice. So something also interesting which I came through. So mother says that there is a psychic mirror within each one of us. And let me just read it out. It's a very small one, and then focus on the few important lines. Mother says, this is life. One stumbles and falls on the first occasion. One tells oneself, oh, one can't always be so serious. And when the other part returns, once again one repents bitterly. I was a fool. I have wasted my time. Now I must begin again. At times there is one part that is ill humored, in revolt, full of worries, and another one which is progressive, full of surrender. We see these dualities within us. There is but one remedy, mother shares. The signpost must always be there, a mirror well placed in one's feelings, impulses, and sensations. As if there is a mirror within each one of us where we can access whether this is the right way to go or not. One sees them in the mirror, one sees the feelings, the impulses, and sensations in front of this mirror. There are some which are not very beautiful, and we know that. We realize that if we step back for a moment, we pause, we realize that this emotion, this feeling is full of darkness. We see that in the mirror. There are some which are not very beautiful or pleasant to look at, and there are others which are beautiful, pleasant, and must be kept. This one does 100 times a day if necessary. This passing of one's feelings, impulses, sensations in front of that psychic mirror. One draws a kind of a big circle around the psychic mirror and arranges all the elements around it. If there is something that is not all right, it casts a sort of a great gray shadow. So if there is something in us which is not to be kept, so as if, I am rearranging the elements in my being. This is what we must do as a human being. We don't spend much time on it. So mother shares that you pass everything that you go through in the inner being in front of this mirror. That which appears dark and gray, that is to be thrown away, rejected. Mother talks about rejection, aspiration, then rejection. That is to be rejected. And here comes the power of will, that yes, I want to do that for myself. And then those which appear pure and which must be kept full of light, only those elements must stay. And it's actually easier said than done, because when impulses of lower nature come and we are caught unaware, it's very hard in that moment to be in that calm, to be in that poise and rearrange. So as somebody, a mystic has said that while you are not faint, do preparation, so that when you are in the faintness, the preparation helps. So our so-called normal days, if there we can have that vigilance, then when a kind of a difficult, challenging situation, a sway of desire, a sweep of emotion comes, then it can help. It may help or it may not, but I'm sure some or the other streak of help will be there if one has been working on it. Yeah. Any thoughts here are welcome. Any comments?
Yeah, I used to give marks actually for myself. I will talk to mother. Mother, today I failed miserably. Today at least I got some pass mark.
Yeah, yeah,
I used to do like that. But as you said, when we face the crisis, no, we will be taken. I mean,
yeah,
for long years for me, you are all young.
yeah.
Even though I'm telling, even today I'm learning.
Hmm, hmm.
Today I'm learning. Yeah.
Yeah, you are still young, Chitraji. You are learning. So
Because
learning only
yesterday
happens.
what happened, no, very, very simple incident. I will narrate actually. You asked me that day-to-day experience, no?
Yeah.
So yesterday what happened, my son called me from US. He is coming next week actually. My husband is here, of course. I was meditating actually. So he's come, I mean, he's pulling me to talk. Your son is calling, why you are meditating? I said, okay, I can call after 10 minutes, I can call him again, no problem. I got angry really. I got angry. I argued with him actually. Only for 10 minutes, you can't wait. Why you are disturbing me? He said, no, no, which is very important, your son's call or your meditation. You decide with that. Every time those arguments will come actually. Yesterday also I reacted, but after that reaction, I felt no, we need not enter into this argument. We will just keep quiet. Then today I explained to him clearly. It is only for 15 to 20 minutes. He can wait or he can call sometime after some time. I can also call him. After 1 week, he is going to come here. So what is that? He said, what my husband's statement. I will also recite Siva Puranam and some Kantasashti Kavasam, everything. But if any call comes, I will put that thing. I will attend the call first, then only I will go to that. I said, no, it is not my practice. My practice, I will finish this and I will go to this call. So I don't know. So far, he didn't understand. I don't know how to, I mean, handle such small situations. It is a test for us only. For them, it is very normal, actually.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. I think it's really interesting to see how human beings, as we are, we want others to just think exactly what I am thinking, and we fail in that stubbornness to actually take the various kind of viewpoints which may be possible. As Sri Aurobindo states, that for a mind to grow, the mind has to be supple, plastic, wide, and flexible. And if we look at our own minds, they are so rigid, ki this is how I want it, and if this is not happening this way, it's bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we slowly, as we are growing also in age and experiences, we see that there is hardly any control we have over
Yeah.
others and also over outer situations.
Yeah,
And
correct.
that is where Mother and Sri Aurobindo's integral yoga comes in,
Yeah.
mastering oneself, because we spend so much of time mastering people outside and we
Yeah.
fail miserably. We keep on failing, but we don't give up. But when it comes to us, कि मुझे अपने आप को master करना है, we give up in 1 day or a 2 day. We see, oh, I am so bad. I failed several times. So if all that energy can be put within, I think as you were sharing, then we keep on observing ourselves. Okay, these many times I fail. Then life becomes a continuing adventure, continuing unfoldment. As mother shared when she was young, she would not go outside like other children for circus or the other kind of entertainments. She would say that I have here something which is so interesting than the circus outside. So I think there is really a huge potential in becoming more and more intimate with our own inner conflicts, inner moments of peace, inner moments of confusion, which is actually all connected with the outside also. Others are just providing us a raw material.
Yeah.
Yeah. Otherwise, what would be the task? All is in Anand and bliss and Brahman.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you said, for me, actually, I surrendered this yesterday's happening, and I got the answer also. Actually, I am alone only. Almost all the months I am alone because he is in Chennai. I am with my daughter. So very peaceful life. I used to pray and meditate. Only for this time, no, I can. I mean, some change. So,
Yeah, Chitraji, I think
I
you got disconnected in between. We lost you.
answered me like that. Yeah, it says poor internet connection.
Yeah, yeah. So we just could not hear what you were sharing at all. If
So
you could just,
yeah, actually I surrendered that happening yesterday happening, and I got a nice answer from mother. So many things, positive things are happening. Uh, why can't you count that? Actually, this is a small thing. Yeah, I can sit up early in the morning before anyone got up. I mean, rise up from the bed. I can finish my meditation and continue my other day-to-day activities. That way I can adjust, no?
yeah. I was reading something on remembrance. We talk about remembering the divine.
Yeah.
So I think I've shared earlier some audio notes on it as well on the group, but just wanted to kind of share it again also as I was discovering it for myself again. So if we see in our day-to-day lives, we are remembering things. We are remembering people, situations, what they said to us, our past. That all is going on. So, what does then this word mean, this sentence mean, remembering the divine? If we can just be observant, what all we are remembering throughout the day, and kind of really do a neti of it, kind of reject it because our mind is crowded with thoughts and feelings and emotions. That is what is remembering the divine. It's not a positive actually, it's a kind of a creating space. So if I become, for example, we talk about cleaning the room. So cleaning the room is not a positive, it's a negative. We are excluding the garbage. We are not bringing cleanliness in the room. We are removing the garbage. So if we can just be, safai karamcharis throughout our life, like sweepers throughout our life, looking carefully at the garbage right now in this moment, what I am carrying in my head, in my emotions, and do a cleaning of it. That is what it meant by remembrance of the divine. And if we look at it this way, I think this we can carry it every moment, because then I don't need to do anything positive like a puja or something
Yeah.
help me, connect with the divine. Just the cleaning of the garbage, continuous cleaning, and we will see that it comes up again and again in some form or the other. We see that. So having that, kind of a empty space within, receptive in itself. So this can also be looked at this way, remembering the divine, kind of in a negative way, in the way of cleaning or looking at the disturbances that are there. And Kabir, beautifully shares on this. Kabir says that one has to be a chokidar, a guard at the mind's periphery. Mind is a farm, and in this farm, because the security guard is always absent, somewhere lost in desires, emotions, feelings, always absent. So all the animals, wild animals, kind of trample in this farm. And after 2 hours, 3 hours, once we come back, we see that, oh my God, I'm feeling so drained. All that farm, the inner peace is destroyed. So the task is to be a continuous security guard, a vigilant guard. Mother talks about vigilance a lot, sincerity and vigilance,
Yeah.
that looking at our own garbage.
Mm.
The moment a garbage is about to enter, you immediately reject it. And that is what is remembering the divine. I think this is really beautiful, can be used in our
Yeah.
day-to-day life where, for
Mm.
example, one is not finding much time to sit separately.
Mm.
In the middle of the Kurukshetra, I can be just a guard.
Yeah.
As someone was sharing, I was looking
Yeah,
at
louder. Ramkumarji, a little louder. Yeah.
is it loud now?
Yes, yes.
As Vikram was sharing, I was looking at the calendar on my table because I was thinking of taking some quote from that, and I got some quote which was very much relevant to me and which may be relevant to Vikram. So two quotes by Mother. One is always circumstances come to reveal the hidden weaknesses that have to be overcome. So this this is very much relevant to me actually. Since you were telling that the conversation between you and your husband, so that may be a circumstance to reveal your hidden weakness that you have to work on. Another one is
Sure. Mm.
dif- difficulties are always blessings if we know how to face them. This is one thing which is very much in my heart now. Daily there are thousands of difficulties, but we have to take them as blessings, and we have to know how to face them, so which I am trying to learn.
Yeah. And this reminds me of this, when we are learning to do something new. For example, maybe the first time we were trying to learn how to ride a bicycle. It's so hard in the beginning, it's so hard to find the balance. And I feel that whenever, as Ramkumarji was sharing, whenever a difficulty comes, it's a moment for my expansion. It's something, it's a territory which is uncharted. So far, I have not been there. And that is why that initial phase of disturbance or difficulty, because I don't know how to be here, I don't know in how to be in this emotional space. So I am struggling in the beginning. So if I think this is really beautiful, those of us who are struggling, who are getting confused, it actually tells us that we are a process in evolution. Because if I am lying down like a stone in inertia, then I will not have any difficulty. But if I am challenging my thresholds each moment, expanding my capacities each moment, then I will be full of confusion, struggles, and difficulties. And if one can go about them in faith, I think that's really grace, total divine grace, if one can do that. Yeah.
Actually, earlier, my voice is audible, right? See, earlier, when I have some difficulty, how I used to think is, why this difficulty is coming? Why so much of difficulty is imposed on me by the nature? Why? But I was only cringing, sometimes crying, sometimes there's a lot of emotional turmoils. No, I was unable to come out of that. I don't work sometimes. I'm not able to give my best. Even not even the best. I'm not able to do the daily course. When something happens, some difficulties come. Now when I keep reading all these things, now this, for example, this quote, difficulties are always blessings, and when some difficulty comes, okay, there is something in that which I have to overcome, then which I have to learn. And this is put on me because I have to master it or I have to overcome it, which is progress for me. So this is kind of, as the word says exactly, it is a blessing. Uh, just this, just this lens which we use to see it, or the attitude, or it makes a huge difference. That from cringing to take it as a challenge or take it as something which need to be done for the progress. It is something which has to be done in the way of progress.
Beautiful. Yeah. So true. Yeah. And I think as you shared, it is so much of joy when one realizes that, oh, I used to get angry at that earlier, but now it does not affect me that much. That
Yes.
really gives you so much of joy, that you are changing, you are evolving, for betterment. And that is like one drop of toxicity less in the ocean of the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you said that all difficulties will turn into opportunities. That word also there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That also.
Of course, I have not executed it so much, but at least the transformation has started.
Mm.
The difficulties, the opportunities,
Yes.
the scenes.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we have to let ourselves, like, we put a cloth for dyeing in the colored water. So we also have to immerse ourselves deeply in these words, for a long time, so that, the color of these words kind of, seeps into our being. Yeah. And slowly then we obviously, we cannot resist but to change, because if you put a cloth in the dyed water, it has to sooner or later get dyed. Yeah.
It becomes our nature and habit.
Yes, yes. So I think we have enough sharing for today. And somewhere I was also reading that when we say that there is a gap between knowing and living,
Living.
many a times we say, I know this, but we are not able to practice this in life. Then it definitely means that we actually don't even know. Because if we would know for the truth that is, we will be immediately able to implement it.
Yeah.
And that reminds me of this story from the Upanishads where, there is a person holding a rope in his hand, and there is extreme darkness. And he's holding onto that rope, thinking that it will protect him from falling. The moment the light appears in that room, he sees that rope is not a rope, it's a snake. So if I really know that what I am carrying in my head, in my feelings and emotions is toxic, if I really know for sure, I will not be able to hold it. And if I am holding it still, then I don't know that it's poison, then I don't
Yeah.
know the intensity of the
Correct.
poison. Yeah. So with that, I think,
Yeah.
yeah, let's call it a day, and thank you for joining.
Yes.
See
Thanks
again
very much,
next week.
Monica. Really, thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Love.
you.
Thanks a lot. It is a beautiful journey, but
Yeah,
with
it is.
all the difficulties, with all the crises, very beautiful journey. With my
It is.
experience, I am telling you all.
So nice. Good to hear.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you, Monica. Actually,
Thank you.
first,
Thanks again.
first
Thank
time I
you very
listened to
much.
you
Thank
during the
you.
Heal Yourself workshop.
Sorry, Ramkumarji.
I,
Sorry.
I listened to your workshop, like session for the first time during the Heal Yourself workshop.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, of course, I have been listening to lot of people, lot of sessions. Uh, but your session, is my voice audible?
Yeah, it's a little husky, but it's okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, it was giving kind of warmth, okay, in fact, I'm able to realize these quotes that difficulties are blessings because, the session, mainly your session and some similar sessions, change this attitude, okay, seeing the difficulties and getting upset and changing from that to this. Your session was one of the reasons. So I just wanted to thank you for that. And I think this was in my mind actually, having a circle and discussing their personal experiences.
Oh, nice.
And it's good that it has started, and I hope that it grows, keep on growing. And yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much for the
I
seed.
mean, yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Grateful to you.
Chitraji has also joined us from Heal Yourself sessions only.
Okay,
So I
yeah.
contacted a few people, and Chitraji was also attending those Heal Yourself talks.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
Okay
then.
then.
Thank you for joining.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Thank